Hello everyone, welcome to English Masters. Today we'll be going to see format and duration of the IELTS course, and we will be learning a little bit deep about all the four modules, but today we will be specifically focusing on one module, that is the speaking section. Later on we will be moving ahead with the other three also in the upcoming videos, but let's focus on the IELTS test. In the last video we had seen the full form and who all are eligible and what are the criterias and what are the different modes in which IELTS exams can be given. But now today we will be focusing on specifically in detail with the speaking module. So let's move ahead. Let's see the duration of each module first. Then we will be diving up more into detail with speaking module. So let's see the test format. So the overall time is 2 hours 55 minutes, wherein you see listening has 4 sections and 40 questions. Approximate time would be 32 to 40 minutes, depending upon whether you give a paper based test or you give a computer based test. This will be important because you have to decide what kind of test you will be giving, and accordingly you will go on with choosing the test, and preparation would be according to the test you decide to give in the format. Then later on we move more into detail with the other modules, that is the speaking and the reading one. So reading is divided into two different sections. Approximately, two different categories are there in which reading is there, that is academic and general. So I've already told you that academic is given by those who wish to go for study abroad, whereas general is given by the working visa or the PR people. Now see, academic reading again consists of 3 sections and 40 questions for 60 minutes. This will remain same for general and academic both. Reading section, 3 sections, 40 items which are written, that means 40 questions are there, whereas 60 minutes time duration is there. Whether you give general or academic, time and the pattern would be same, only the passages would be different and some of the questions would be different. Moving on with the writing section, again writing has academic writing part, that is task 1, different for both, whereas writing task 2 is similar. So let's see first. Writing task 1 in academic consists of a report writing, wherein any content in between different diagrams, let's say there is a pie chart or there is a paragraph or there is a line chart, anyways you have some data or stuffs which is given accordingly in the tabular form or diagrammatic form, where you have to convert that into a report, that is a paragraph, and it should be precise. That's it. Later on we have general writing section. So in general writing task 1 we have probably essay writing, sorry, the letter writing. And the letter writing, of course, for letter writing you have 3 different letters, out of which any one type can come. That means you all have written letters, but yes, the format should be known over here because we never write sender's address or a recipient's address in this kind of letter in the IELTS exam. And the time duration would be similar. Then we have task 2, which will be related to the essay writing. Now essay writing has more weightage and it has more time duration than the task 1. So the time is 60 minutes, which is divided into 2 tasks. So you have approximately 20 and 40 minutes to complete each task. That means 20 minutes for task 1 and 40 minutes for task 2 approximately. And then we move on with the speaking section. Now this will be, of course, in detail we'll be covering, but overall I'll tell you that speaking section has approximate 11 to 15 minutes of time. Now this time is quite enough. We feel that we have to speak for a longer duration, but it's not the way, and this is not the case. Even we really have to speak for a very less time, and immediately as we speak or we start speaking, the time is done mostly while speaking for some time. So the oral interview, or it is also called as face-to-face interview, or kind of conversation which we have with the examiner, So the approximate time would be 11 to 14 minutes in speaking, and again we will see in detail what happens. Now the speaking section is divided into three sections. So the speaking module has three individual sections which consist of maximum duration of 11 to 15 minutes, or you can say 11 to 14 minutes approximate. Somewhere you will find it is given 11 to 14, whereas in some places it is 11 to 15 minutes approximate time is given for speaking. Let's see what are the band score and how it is scored. So how it is also given the band score. So first, 1 is the least. You can also say 0 in some cases, but usually no one gets 0. But yes, the least one would be 1 band score, whereas the highest band score would be 9 bands in the IELTS test for any student who is appearing. Let's move ahead and see that what is next. So next we will be seeing that you have the speaking test format. As I told you that there are three sections: part 1, part 2 and part 3. Let's go deep into it. So the first task is known as introduction or an interview, where the examiner definitely introduces himself or herself to the student, and then the candidate identity has to be confirmed. So usually they check the passport for the ID or the number, okay, the ID number. Then the examiner will have couple of questions related to personal choice, like personal questions, maybe related to a student's friends, family, his likes, dislikes, hobbies, and so on and so forth. It will be approximate 4 to 5 minutes, and you can also see that these type of questions might take at least 10 or 8 questions back to back, around 8 to 10 questions one after the other. So it's really difficult to answer 8 to 10 questions in series just within 4 to 5 minutes. You can see the approximate time. Later on, I would be definitely making some more videos which will be covering each section in detail and how you need to cover it. But I would like to know over here, if you guys really want me to make a video basically covering what is the strategy for the answering of part 1 in speaking test and how can we score more band scores in this. So definitely let me know in the comment section below, and let's move ahead for part 2. Part 2 is very well known to people because it's an individual long turn, also known as the cue card. One of my favorite, because I really love to speak a lot and I can speak anything. So I really like this one, and I know that the examiner will definitely give you 1 to 2 minutes for preparing for the topic. Now what do I say? What I say by this, what do I mean by this? That is, 1 minute is given for the preparation with a pen, or you can say pencil. Usually pencil is preferred and given to a student so that they can write comfortably. Even if there are mistakes, you can just clear off with that. And then a book or a paper is also given to you. Of course, the examiner will be seeing what all things you're writing, what points you are noting down, and you have that 1 minute which you have to cover very effectively. Then approximate 2 minutes of time is given to you for speaking on that particular topic. Okay, so this section will cover around 3 to 4 minutes because the examiner will give you certain instructions, will give you 1 minute of preparation and then 2 minutes of speaking. So you can see it will be content focused. Also, there are some prompts and some type of questions which might be related to a topic, wherein you just have to speak on a stretch, and you have to show that you are quite fluent in English. So this part will definitely cover that, and whatever you have, whatever type of question or the title you have in this particular section, part 2, that will be carried forwarded in part 3, but it is known as two-way discussion. Means whatever topic you have in part 2 definitely will be covered in part 3, but in general question format. You will have general questions based on cue card topic. Now again, the examiner will be asking you certain type of questions, and approximately you will have around 4 to 8 type of questions, depending directly or indirectly based on this cue card. So you can see again 4 to 5 minutes of time in which you have back-to-back series of questions. You definitely need to be very fast and very quick in ideations, generating your ideas and speaking well through. Now we will see what are the marking criterias in the speaking section, because it's very important for you all to keep the marking criterias in mind and prepare strategically. Don't prepare blindly for the test. It is very renowned test and it has many parameters in detail. So let me go on with the first parameter, that is fluency and coherency. So it means that how fluent you are and how clear you are with all your ideations. Very important for you all to cover and be very clear and precise with your ideas. Next, we have grammatical range and accuracy. So you have to show wide range of sentences, and framing of sentences should be really very good with some compound sentences. You can also say complex sentences, which will help you gain good band scores. And you can also use a lot of idioms. You can use good idiomatic language. You can use good phrases which you use not in daily life, but of course some unique or identified idiomatic language will be preferred. And then you go on with some lexical resource. Now I would tell you what is the actual meaning of lexical resource. Nothing but a good word for vocabulary for you all to use and learn. So you will see that there is a good range of grammar and vocabulary needed in this IELTS test for you to score well. Then the last part will be pronunciation. Very important. Always remember, accent is not the only criteria which we have over here. You can be from any country giving the test. Of course, you have to pronounce the word very correctly. You cannot pronounce the wrong word and get the band score. Definitely not. So you have to focus on your pronunciation of the word before you actually start preparing for the test. Then moving on with some band descriptors, which is in detail. Now this is the actual public version which I have bought over here, and I'm telling you that it is very specific. Most of the countries require around 6.5 to 7 bands, and you have to see that whatever criterias are there. So there are 4 parameters which we saw just now. Based on that, in detail, you have these things which you have to focus on. So this is a kind of fluency and coherency which covers around these many things in detail for getting a 7 band. Same goes with lexical resource, grammatical range and accuracy and pronunciation. So I want you all to go on with this. You can pause the video, just check out this in detail, what is given under each heading specifically, and you can also note it down if you want. Otherwise you can just read it, pause and read it once and twice, note it down. Make sure while you're preparing, you prepare it strategically, and keeping all these points in mind, try to make your answers and prepare with the strategies with a trainer. Thank you for watching. I hope that if you are new, definitely you should subscribe the channel so that you get wonderful videos ahead.